What is up, everyone? My name is Jacob from Cold North Creative, and today I will be checking out the making of the 1916 music video by SABATON. This is exclusive behind the scenes documentary that they've made. It's like 20 something minutes, and this video was pretty interesting. They were walking around Birmingham, and someone commented in the other video that it was Lemmy's birthplace, and he was actually the one who wrote the song originally, and this was a cover, which I didn't know. So pretty excited to see what else I'm gonna find out about the band and the video in this making of. So come hang out and watch this with me for the next half hour. So yeah, let's get into this. Let's see from the start here.
Phone me up. Do you want to be in a video? I'm like, yeah, cool.
Oh yeah, by the way, before we start, I'm gonna mute it at some points just so I don't get copyright strike. Just so you know, that's why.
Adam phoned me up. Do you want to be in a video? I'm like, yeah, cool, that'll be great. It's like, okay, are you aware of this band called SABATON? I had to say like, oh yes, I know them. Inside, I was like, fuck yeah! Adam says, okay, I'll call you back. You know, if you're interested, I'll send you a sheet. And I was like watching my phone every minute of the tape. Like, come on, give me the call back,
Yeah, he seemed really stoked. Yeah, there was a lot of people walking in this video for that parade thing there. Seems like some of them are like real, true SABATON fans. So probably some music here, I'm just gonna mute. The making of 1916. Yeah, such a cool shot with them walking through the smoke here. Probably have the camera on some kind of car, driving away from them with some stabilization on, because that looks like a bumpy road. Yeah, so we got the band there with some members behind it. Oh, some soldiers behind it. Yeah, we still got the music.
And about 6 months ago, I had an initial chat with Pa, and he told me that they were covering a track by Motorhead, legendary band Motorhead.
The producer
tells the story all about how British forces lost 20,000 men within one day, the first day of Battle of the Somme. The cover, when I got it, it was amazing. It really did make you think about things. It's a privilege not only to work with SABATON and working with the guys from Motorhead like Phil and...
Oh yeah, those are, I remember like we were like, who the fuck are those guys? They seem important. I'm just standing in the doorway watching the parade. So it's the Motorhead band.
Mickey, but more so about the story and about the human loss. The people behind the war effort thought was people are more likely to join the army if they could fight alongside their neighbours, their workmates, their relatives. What happened was they had all these recruitment drives, mainly in the north of England, but also in Cardiff and in Bristol and a little bit in the Midlands as well. In fact, what happened was that these people they were never given any real training, they never had any battlefield experience, they weren't provided proper equipment, some of them didn't even have rifles, and they were taking part in the biggest exercise in British history, and which ended up becoming the biggest slaughter. It's not only just being a British person, it was just the story of human sacrifice. It was a story about brothers, about neighbours, about sons and fathers who all went to war together and all died on that day. I think ultimately I just really wanted to do justice to the subject matter and the people that did lose their lives.
Wow, that's such a heavy subject. I really think this is one of the things that SABATON does really great. They always honor the soldiers, and it seems like most of their videos and their songs are from the soldiers' perspective in a, I would say, in a very, I wouldn't say positive is the right word, but acknowledging way maybe. Yeah, you get what I'm meaning.
Yeah, we had a few meetings about the styles and like the areas of makeup, which was really interesting because I've never worked on a sort of period project before, so this is really interesting to do research into the differences between World War I and World War II soldiers. They didn't
like how they were putting like some dirt on their fingers.
They have like bandages in World War I, so they've got more muzzle and just dyed it in tea. So I'm just going to put a load of like mud and blood on that once we've sort of tied it in knots, because they didn't have safety pins. So it's just learning all. I think, oh yeah, they didn't actually have that.
Overpriced arts of photography and the editor.
And just one day Adam contacted me and said, look, we've got this massive project, our biggest one to date, with SABATON 1916. It's a Motorhead cover music video. Sounded really exciting. So
they're on Sony. Yeah, and a DJI Ronin gimbal 3. We have the same gimbal as they have.
I jumped at the chance.
Probably an FX3 or 5, I think.
Right, guys, on this shot, all we're doing, hardest shot of the entire thing, all you're going to do is walk forward.
That is the hardest thing.
They look so genuine, those costumes there. Yeah, looks so different in real time compared to
for this particular production. We've got 3 days, 3 locations, about 20 crew I think, and approximately 30 cast as well, so actors and actresses, as well as the band and all of their entourage. So there's a huge amount of people. This is before we even get to the extras. 3 locations, so day 1, Black Country Living Museum. Day 2, we're out on the streets of Birmingham, and day 3, we're in a no man's land set as well. So we've got 3 really challenging, cold environments, and making sure that we can move our lighting equipment around from section to section to make sure we're kind of like, whilst we're shooting one scene, we're ahead of ourselves, like ready for the next scene as well.
Go! 1, 2, action!
So the role I'm playing through the video is a World War I captain, and we got sent a great brief by Adam. You know, kind of the importance.
Yeah, so it seems like every soldier was a real person. Every soldier that they portraying this, at least from the credits from the video, there was like a list of all the soldiers that were in the video. It's really dope that they went so far with the history in this, the historical accuracy.
Importance of understanding the role. We kind of got different pictures, different videos to look through. This by far is the biggest adventure they've been on. Adam's always creating weird and wonderful worlds to be a part of, and it's always a pleasure to be asked to be a part of, because like I say, it's something that's always special when we work together. So many cast and crew that I know, but then obviously you meet loads of new people as well, especially on this particular shoot.
Action!
My granddad fought in World War II, so kind of was really interested in doing the role. How important, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. Probably over 100 years ago now, but it's still pretty raw, still pretty poignant, and these men and women that sacrifice their lives for us, it's vital that we capture them in a way with respect. And even just walking down the cobbles then, as we would be coming home, it's somber.
Yeah, so he's holding the camera and then the gimbal, walking backwards. You can see there's a guy behind him, just making sure that he doesn't bump into anything and making sure that he can keep walking. And he just has to focus on keeping the camera. Actually, what you can do with those gimbals, you can set like the subject. So you're just on the gimbal, on the screen, you could just, target the lead singer here. And so whatever he does, if he like moves around, the gimbal will automatically correct for that, so the angle is always on the lead singer. Otherwise it can be pretty hard if you just do like one motion and the gimbal kind of gets off, like the whole shot is ruined. So and it's so lightweight, it doesn't look like much, but these are kind of like the systems that you can use now for music videos that look really high-end cinematic. So that's really cool. Make some really epic shots with pretty low effort.
I mean, so far.
You can also see that maybe he has the wires just to make sure that he has the same like length from the body at all times, so he doesn't like move too much back and forth in this axis.
Not really. The stuff has certainly been the weather, obviously the logistics of controlling a large amount of people, but again, the enjoyment in that is the scale of the production. It's a huge deal for everyone involved and for Video Inc. as a company. Working with clients such as SABATON and Motorhead is massive, and the collaboration between those two bands for the production is massive in itself as well.
Oh, it's raining then.
So it's quite a lot of work in pre-production actually.
Usually when me and Andreas does music videos, we kind of tend to shy away from having too many people, too many extras and stuff like that, just because, as they say, you need just one extra guy on set just to manage all those people. and it can be like a hassle sometimes. So it makes everything a lot more complicated. Also, a lot more schedules to be planned.
Kind of have to make a schedule not just based on what we think, but making sure that all of these different departments have the time to do what they've got to do before we can move on to a shot. Because with a production like this, we've got so many different considerations before we can even press record.
Yeah, exactly.
Shots are something that we've got to capture in all 3 of the days. So yeah, finding those moments to kind of go, right, let's pause here, get the drone in, and switching around the camera rigs is a massive logistical thing that we've got up against us.
I've been flying drones off and on for Adam and Ollie for about 10 years now. I just get calls out of the blue from them every now and again when they need a hand for a day or two shooting. And as you can see behind, they're normally pretty interesting shoots, pretty epic shoots, and it's always a great atmosphere on set as well. And being a veteran myself with the military, with this being military heavy, this was quite an interesting one to get involved in. So of course, what Adam and Ollie are often after from me is kind of establishing shots, and also some micro shots or some detailed shots that you just can't get from a jib or from any other angle. Sometimes they're straightforward, sometimes they're more complicated, and sometimes they kind of freelance it on set.
It's so insane you can get drones, that high quality drones, that size now.
Exciting to be back on a video ink set. So a lot of us as the freelance crew that kind of plug into productions like this, when we heard about this one, I think it's particularly exciting because it is just, I think the marriage of Sabaton and video ink is so perfect.
I think one thing you'll find on a video ink shoot is that you're going to work really hard. You are going to work really hard, but nobody really minds because what we're doing is something incredible. Every time we make something, and this especially, the vision is so compelling that you put in the effort for it. It's tremendous fun working with video ink and Sabaton, and we've developed a really good relationship with the band in the whole process.
The majority of their videos are narrative driven, which as an actor are great for me personally, and again over the years some of the characters I played for Adam and Video Ink have been great, proper weird and wonderful characters.
It's such an honour, I always
sick.
find. I've been working with them for so long now, maybe 8 years, and every single time Adam messages me saying, "Are you free?" I'm like, I'm never free, but I always make myself free. I'm like, yeah, of course I am. Because it just, you're going to be here, you're going to have a good time.
I think there's something special about being on a video ink set where, every now and again we'll get this big crew together. We've all got our respective pursuits, as I say, all these different departments that have got such different jobs and we've got to work so well together. I think that keeping up that level of morale is something different on a video ink shoot, because I think there's this level of banter which I think so far seems to really marry up with the guys from Sabaton as well. I think we've got like a pretty good rapport from the off. Everybody's just super excited to be involved in it.
You can't take sort of it has to be given. So you see them whenever they're out, they're like people who buzz off creating certain framings that can stir emotions in the viewer and things like that. I mean, it might sound so esoterical that we're creating memories for people. That you're watching something and we're trying to make it so that they feel like they could imagine themselves there.
Yeah.
So having such a big crew and everybody getting together and really trying to collaborate in a way that makes that happen, it's just so exciting. That's the best part of the job for me. I mean, I can shoot whatever you want. I can work for whichever company. It doesn't mean that I will enjoy it, but this was one of the projects that I genuinely have enjoyed in the past 15 years. It's probably one of the most enjoyable projects that I've worked on.
Yeah, those night scenes look sick. Look how also that they have the fire on the other side and they're filming from the shadow side. And if you look at on the left side of the front guy's face here, there's a big projection light from behind. So that's like a classic way of lighting. So you got this really is you also have the light from their flares or their torches, of course, but this way of just having 2 lights behind them, one is like a hair light which makes like the edges of them stand out from the background, and then you have like the colored on the other side, but you still have the shadows from the face, which gives depth and this kind of cinematic feel. And it looks so fucking cool here. Just getting some angry shots of them, the warriors. Oh, they're close to him.
Where do you want me?
Smoke gives it kind of an ethereal feel to it, I think.
You need to spray it when he... So when I say action...
As soon as I spoke to Par for the first time, listened to the track, he had an idea of staging a march for these fallen heroes. I took that, used it as a foundation, had an idea of why don't we travel back through time? So we started off in the 80s when the band get off the bus, Joachim starts to perform, then we go back through 1916 and slowly but surely we see the soldiers who fought on no man's land. Then we moved into the late 30s, early 40s and brought in World War II. And the final part of the video, which was so important to finish in the modern day, because it was about the world coming together to fight for what was right.
Are you sure? Yeah? Yeah. That's a wrap, everyone!
Are you sure? Yeah, I tried that before with an outdoor shoot in the winter and having, saying, oh, okay, we're done, guys, it's a wrap. And then I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, because all their fingers were like completely frozen almost. And I was like, uh-oh, we got to do another one. And like the disappointment in the band, I'd never forget that.
Back up! No, congratulations!
So day 2, we are in Birmingham city centre. We're at the Room Bar, which is in Digbeth, beautiful place. The first shot that we had to do was actually on a roof, and obviously that took a bit of time to set up, understandably. It's hard enough doing it on the ground, never mind up on a roof, and that's going to look that's going to be a great shot because it'll be able to kind of get the full scope of the march. And so yeah, that was a slow and steady start, but again, it's one of those. That's what happens, and to get those shots, that you have to take your time with.
Shot's ready with playback. Greg rolling. And action.
I work behind a rock bar part-time. Adam sent me the email saying, oh yeah, you're on board for Sabaton 1916. I was like, what on earth? Like, what? And I was telling everyone at work, like, I've got an email saying I was going to be on Sabaton, which I don't know if I'm legally allowed to do. But yesterday came on and said that, they're covering a Motorhead song. I was like, well, Christ. You know what I mean? Like, and the Motorhead are going to be on set. It was just unbelievable. And
I love his
they're all
accent.
really nice. They're really, really, really nice, down-to-earth people. They spend time sort of mingle with all the extras and all the other crew.
Right. Yeah, again. Action! And that's how it is for a soldier.
We took a bit of a leap of faith. We went on social media groups to assemble an army of metalheads from Birmingham. And Birmingham being the birthplace of metal, didn't understand. I was a bit nervous going into today, thinking that nobody would turn up because we didn't contract anybody. This is on their goodwill, the goodwill of the metal community of Birmingham. My heart was genuinely warmed, and I shed a single tear when I saw all these metalheads turning up of all different shapes and sizes and ages and everything. It was just so perfect.
Joachim, could you put your head up slightly? It's just the reflection of your glasses with the camera, you see.
That's a good Easter egg.
Yes.
So Sabaton is a band I've known for a while because I'm a bit of a history geek, so they're going to follow you on your radar. I feel a little bit like I cheated a bit because I've been cast as 80s punk, which is something really, really close to my heart. It's music and culture I'm part of. So a lot of my colleagues here have had to act, and I don't feel like I'm acting. Adam just says, just be you.
Kind of on the different ages, eras of metal as well.
So I've got to give a really, really big shout out and a thank you from the bottom of my heart to everybody who turned up on that day to make it really, really special.
This is the price you pay for being in the limelight at the front. You eat later.
I mean, they were so engaged leading up to it. I was talking to lots of them via email. Some of them are now my friends on Facebook. And, you know, they showed so much spirit, and they had no idea who the band was going to be. They had no idea who the special guests were going to be. But they came anyway, because we promised them it would be worth it. And some of them met their heroes that day. Some of them met the drummer from Scorpions and Motorhead. You know, and to a metalhead, that's significant. That's something, you know.
Nobody got angry that it wasn't Black Sabbath.
Okay, that's a wrap, everyone. Well done.
So tomorrow, No Man's Land, day 3, described by Adam as war. War in capital letters is what we're expecting, is what I'm excited for.
Yeah, it seems like a fun shoot. Usually me and Andreas, we get like music videos done in a day. That's usually the budget that most bands have the budget for.
I've got a lot of relationships whilst being here. So
three-day shoot is quite.
Everyone seems so nice and friendly, and everyone's here to help.
They have night
Adam
scenes also.
And Ollie are just amazing. Ollie's I thought he's very meticulous and very like behind the scenes, but also as important as Adam. But Adam's very vocal and very loud and a big presence. On set, we're playing World War I and World War II soldiers. Off camera, we're all like creating a brotherhood almost.
Really nice set
Playing
pieces.
Private Lewis, who don't quote me, I believe was the youngest British soldier in the trenches. He signed up, I believe he was about 12 or 13, signed up saying he was older. So it's quite a big figure, significant figure in sort of British history. It's been awesome working with Sabaton. Never really heard about them before I got this, but I remember telling my brother about them, and he was jealous because he's quite big into this heavy metal sort of thing. Yeah, it's been great. It's a 3-day shoot. The first 2 days obviously done now, and they were a lot more simple than today. It was a lot of marching back and forth. Yeah, it's been pretty eye-opening seeing sort of what goes into making such a large video like this, and it's been by far the biggest day, by far the biggest thing I've probably done acting wise, the most tasking. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Earth down on him.
Yeah, we've done that entire scene.
Private Stringer screams from above, his arm stretched out. You've done that. Private Lewis.
JP, mate, do me a favour, rest that somewhere safe, and then get me another American.
And some struggles today have obviously been, we're in a trench, so the mud is a massive issue. Guys with cameras are sinking into the mud, so we need to make sure that they're the priority, that they're not falling over or anything, as it's obviously very expensive equipment, and obviously everyone's health and safety is very important as well.
So
everyone's
what they're using there is a diffuser due to the sunlight being probably low in the sky now, so it gives a lot of light to the camera and to the actors. So if you would expose, meaning how much light would you have enter the lens and the sensor on the camera, they would easily get overexposed because one part of their faces would be really highlighted, another would be really black due to the shadows. So what this diffuser does is just spread the lights and makes it more even and better to expose the camera.
And obviously everyone's health and safety is very important as well, so everyone's looking out for each other. Also, it's starting to get dark now, we're in winter, so we need to make sure we're using.
You can almost see it here because they don't have a diffuser on her, so just look at the to me the right side of her face, really bright, and the right side pretty black, where if they had a diffuser, they would be softer, there wouldn't be so much highlight on that side of the
Our
face.
time as quickly and efficiently as possible. I think we're in our last sort of hour and a half now, so I think we're just going to try and get our last couple of scenes in and then hopefully wrap completely.
You can see how low the sun is now in this guy.
This is actually my first music video.
Yeah, that's actually
so
a better
it's pretty
example.
Amazing
Because that guy on his helmet, you notice that it's totally clipped, it goes one with the background on his helmet there. So
This is actually my
That's
first,
why you use a
my
diffuser.
first music video, so it's pretty amazing that
soften
a
the light.
project this big has been able to be my first experience of this. The guys have been so much fun. I think we've formed perhaps a really solid group. They're a bit younger than me, so I sort of feel like I'm guiding them at sometimes. I will genuinely be quite sad at the end of the day when we all separate. There's definitely a sense of camaraderie, which is perfect for the role really, because you do feel like in some senses you're in a unit together, you know, you're eating, sleeping and working together all hours and stuff.
And action!
I think working in film, you have these projects every now and then, like, I love my job, but I particularly love music video, and I think everybody feels the same. It's like this super collaborative, creative exercise where music and film are coming together. Because you become this like tight-knit little community where you're working to get the job done but have fun at the same time. And I think that's what I really enjoy about videoing sets. Again, like, we just have that level of camaraderie and banter.
Day 3 on the shoot, we was probably the hardest day, I'd say. I think I've ever shot on, you know, any set ever.
Wow.
A World War I no man's land had been created. It was muddy. It was.
I like how they gave him a beard.
Cold. It was wet. You had to have wellies on and
Good
working,
moustache.
doing gimbal work in wellies in thick mud that was coming up over your ankles, with burning trees all around and smoke, and yeah, it's exciting. Even thinking about it now, it's still exciting me. People acting like they were in the war, but, you know, really channeling their emotions and their feelings of how they maybe would have been there. It kind of just it bled into the crew. Everybody was kind of excited. Everyone had that jolt of enthusiasm, and I don't know. I just think everybody raised their game that third day.
I know those three
first, when I give the command to make ready, with your left hand, cock it all the way back.
Film is without a doubt the greatest collaboration in art, because it draws in all forms of art. Because it was such a big project, we had all these different departments communicating with each other. There's certain bits when I've been looking at my monitor today, and it just fills me with so much joy, because not only are we creating these incredible images that really do the subject matter justice, but I can see all these people's work poured into it. Every single aspect on that screen that I'm seeing is all these different people, from the lighting to the costume. It's just spectacular.
Yes. Huge effort for a music video. Guess that black all he was using was just to I'm just gonna close the music here. Was just to be for him to block the light, I think. Probably had some kind of lighting. Yeah, some really sick slow-mo shots. Good parallax there. It's when you like move around the subject like that. I really like the way they integrated like the history in this parade, and had it become larger and larger and involve more and more like eras, which is a really cool idea. Really cool way of like integrating like Birmingham as well. Yeah, I think that's it. That was pretty dope. Well, if you guys had fun watching this along with me and giving me some commentary, let me know in the comments down below if I should watch some more behind the scenes of Sabaton stuff. So thank you for watching, and if you didn't know, we have a Patreon where you can go request stuff, and you can also see some other behind the scenes reactions and commentary there. So see you guys next one.